Way 72 talks about what happens when you add ions to a solution. In particular, whenever you do that, the boiling point increases and the freezing point decreases. Now, you might be wondering why this happens. Well, remember, boiling point has to do with the intermolecular attractive force of the particles in the substance. Now, stronger, the stronger these forces are, the more energy it takes and the higher the boiling point. So remember, if you add ions to a solution, that acts like a glue that holds the particles together. So these ions are interacting with the solvent, usually water in this case, and it causes the bonds, the intermolecular attractive forces between the ions and the water to increase. Now, if these bonds are increased, if this strength of the intermolecular attractive force is increased, it's going to take more energy to separate the water from the ions because it's like adding glue to the substance. It makes the forces between the particles stronger, which means it takes more energy and increases the boiling point. Now, think about what has to happen when the substance freezes. Well, if you have these ions in between water, and the water has to come together in order to freeze, well, these ions are interfering with that process. So it actually takes, we're going to actually have to extract more energy from the solution in order to cause the particles of water to come close together and escape the ions that are in between the particles of the solution. So this is what happens. Whenever you add ions, you increase the boiling point and decrease the freezing point. Another way you can remember this is the expression boiling point elevation, freezing point depression. Anytime you add ions, it increases the boiling point and depresses the freezing point. Let's try some problems. At standard pressure, the boiling point of an unsaturated sodium nitrate aqueous solution increases when. Well, this is asking you how we can get the boiling point of an unsaturated sodium nitrate solution to increase. Well, since this is already unsaturated, it means that we can continue to dissolve more sodium nitrate into this aqueous solution. Remember, aqueous just means that this substance is dissolved in water. So how can we increase the boiling point? Well, we just have to add more ions. And the only way of doing that is by choice 4, adding more sodium nitrate solid and dissolve it in solution. This will raise the boiling point as we add more particles to the solution. And in general, anytime we add more particles to an unsaturated solution, it's going to increase the boiling point and decrease the freezing point. This is precisely why adding salt to ice is so effective at melting the ice. The salt on the ice causes the freezing point of the ice to decrease. So where what was once 0 degrees Celsius is now lowered to something smaller than 0 degrees. So if the external temperature is higher than the melting point, it means that, or the freezing point, it means that that substance is going to melt. So since we lowered the melting point of ice, it now takes more energy to extract from the ice in order to get it to freeze. Thus, the ice begins to melt. So, remember, boiling point elevation, freezing point depression occurs whenever we dissolve a substance into the solution. And anytime we add more ions, the greater this effect. Thank you for watching, and I hope hopefully this was helpful.